Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Midwest Plainsman on the Prairie Land Radio Network. Now, wanted to welcome everyone tuning in. I do appreciate that, and uh, we're going to be doing a lot more series here on the Midwest Plainsman. I've been meeting a lot of great people on Alignable, which is a business networking platform. And one of my guests today is actually coming from Lineable. And we're going to be speaking with Lisa Joy. And she's come up with a fantastic uh, business model and website. And this is called an integrated movement. Now, Lisa Joy, she draws upon her experience as a licensed massage therapist, yoga teacher, and personal trainer to guide students to make small shifts in daily practices to heal their bodies. Um, she also focuses on musicians' health. So I want to welcome Joy to the show, and thanks for taking time out to come join me.
Thank you so much, Earl. I'm so happy to be here on the Midwest Plainsman podcast with you today. Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to be doing a lot more here on the Midwest Plainsman, especially for the folks that I'm getting to meet over on Alignable. I've met a lot of fantastic people, especially people that kind of connect up with what I'm doing. Especially now, with you working with musicians' health, because naturally I do help to support independent musicians, singer songwriters, and bands. So this is going to fall in place quite well.
Yeah, absolutely. I have been working with musicians for the last 7 years. And at the turn of the pandemic, I had been doing a lot of festivals and like this one, Cattle Jam, which is an amazing small music festival in Delaware. I've been doing a lot of festival work and working with venues. I've had a studio in Silver Spring, Maryland, where I focus on musicians' health. We did massage therapy and healing arts. And as a longtime personal trainer and body worker, I always give homework. I put it in quotes, but the things that you can do to actually change your condition long term in between the sessions. And when the pandemic happened and I closed all the studio down and we stopped traveling for some time, I was able to create an online series of programs that could help people actually to follow the guidance and to do this work to change their conditions, to reduce pain, and to play with more freedom and creativity, and to not be distracted, and to be able to extend their careers for the long haul.
Well, I got to admit that with musicians, once they start in, it's in their blood, and they don't know when to quit.
Ooh,
They really
good
don't.
point.
It's about like me being a DJ. Is I've been at this since 2001, and back in, let's see, about 5 years ago, uh, I actually had to take a step back for a while because, being a DJ, minister, event planner, um, the coordinator, I was doing everything on my own, and I wound up getting burned out.
Hmm.
So I had to take a step back for quite a while, and so to say it's this year now that I'm starting back up again. So I don't know when to quit.
Yeah, I think that's such a great point about like once you're doing it and you're passionate, it's in your blood and you don't know when to quit. And I think that overuse injuries and the fact that for most instrumentation, there is quite a bit of asymmetry where the right side of your body and the left side of your body are doing and responsible for completely different activities that and we call these repetitive motion injuries or overuse injuries. This is so common amongst musicians, and there are a couple of ways that this can be prevented, preventing the burnout. One is obviously creating containers and discipline around your practice time, around performance. But there are some other things that you can do if you want to play a lot and if you want to move to that elite level, which is to design really, really proper warm ups, and having what I like to call the pre warm up, which is just preparing your body to even move, to go into action. Working on sleep schedule and sleep habits and nutrition. Obviously, some of these injuries, some of this, even when you are just going nonstop and you don't know when to stop, some of the pain and injury can be avoided by giving yourself good ingredients otherwise that surrounds your playing. So when you're not playing, how you're taking care of your body. And something special that I created as part of the musicians membership at Active Potential is something I like to call the van companion, which are activities that you can do while you're actually traveling. So whether that's a van, a plane, a
Mhm.
car, an automobile, a train, any sort of moving about that you might be doing in a small confined space. These are activities to prepare and optimize your body and also your mind. So meditative and breathwork techniques to create more intention and focus so that you can not just be doing and doing and doing, but really doing what actually helps you succeed, what helps you actually get better, but
Mhm.
also to relax and calm the body and minds to reduce stress and to have better posture when you're in those positions. So if you play a gig and maybe let's say it's a 90 minutes or even a 2 hour gig, but it takes 7 hours to travel from gig to gig, as it might in the Midwest or out West. East Coast, it's a little bit closer together. Then your job isn't actually just playing music and just practicing. Your job is also driving or riding in a vehicle. That's part of your job, right? The things that you have to do in order to get to the part where you get paid or get the satisfaction of doing the thing you love, or both. Um, so yeah, not knowing when to quit, not knowing when to stop, having good mental capacity and discipline, as well as knowing how to use your body the best you can when you're playing and when you're not, all help to eliminate that burnout so that you don't have to stop doing what you love and you can keep going and keep building.
Yeah, because right now there's a few well-known musicians who have had to cancel their concerts because of health reasons, and I see that happening more frequently. Is because they're on the go constantly, and uh, they it seems like they never really take time out because they're constantly on the go doing concerts and making appearances, whatnot. So uh, I don't think a lot of musicians really take into account what they need to do to stay in good health so that they can continue doing what they love.
Yeah, I think that there's a couple of factors with that. One, I just want to commend some artists and also athletes in our world who have just finally taken a stance and said, like my mental health is not good or my physical health is not good. We saw this in the last run of the Olympics, just from an athletic example. And I think that this is important because at least there is a space now where people are saying out loud, like, I'm not well mentally or physically, and I need a break. And I think that that's important. And I commend all the artists and athletes who have done this in the recent past. And it at least paves the way for other people to start recognizing that their health is so important. I think there's a lot of pressure. I don't know that there's more or less pressure in our post-pandemic world because of trying to catch up on income or catch up or get back to where we once were. I think the pressure always existed. Obviously, the business of music and just the passion of playing are intersecting parts. So there's pressure um, from companies that are putting on tours and from labels and obviously promotion to promote your music. Uh, but I think that a lot of these health struggles could be avoided by actually just caring for your health, number one, and by creating clear boundaries. So I know I've worked with a couple of artists where um, their band has decided that they can only go on so many days of tour in a row, and then they need a certain amount of break. And so, regardless of what their company suggests, they just sort of have worked it out. Of course, they worked it out from trial and error and probably burning out and having some tough, tough go at it. But now they know this. And I think that communication is really the key factor here. So, all of these things that I mentioned, communicating publicly about your personal health, and of course, communicating within your own group or band with the other people that are involved in your business, and being realistic and just communicating about your needs and your health and what is actually happening is a key. And I think one of the foundations that I really work with people on is about being present. This is really a central component of one, obviously being able to be good at playing music, but being present allows you to recognize the truth of what's actually happening. And a lot of times we tell ourselves stories like, oh, it'll be fine later. I just have to get through this. I just have to, I should, I could, I would. And when we practice being present through breathwork techniques, through movement techniques, through developing awareness, we start to reside more in the truth of what is. And that can really be the first step in creating more clear and honest communication.
Yep. And the one thing that I have noticed over the years is that whether it be musicians, athletes, um, artists, you name it, uh, they don't like being forced to take time out because they feel that they're going to disappoint the people who follow them. And they get in that mindset. And that's what hurts them the most, I think.
Yeah, I think that concern and worry over other people's thoughts, feelings, and actions is really at um, like a crux, a center of what is usually causing us mental and emotional pain. So I think that one, like some of this normalization where people are speaking out about their truth, saying, you know, I need help, I need a break, is one thing. I think I've seen a lot today in social media going in both directions, where people feel like they absolutely must communicate with their fans and their people daily, multiple times daily, sharing everything. And then I've seen so many people take a break. I'm taking a social media break. I'm going away. I'm not going to be posting. I'm not worried about the algorithm. I'm not worried about this. So, stating it and normalizing this, in most, even in 9 to 5, most 9 to 5 jobs, full time jobs, there's sick time and there's vacation time. And unfortunately, with live performance, that is not always afforded. The sick time aspect isn't always there. People have to play hurt and play sick a lot. So, again, being realistic with having breaks between touring and between jobs, and scheduling that in is important. But I think the pressure and the living inside our own minds, worrying about disappointing other people, is really something that actually has to be an internal job. We have to work on understanding that we cannot actually have an effect on other people's uh, thoughts, feelings, or actions. We might like to, that might give us like a feed our ego, but at the end of the day, we're all each only individually responsible for ourselves and with ourselves. And so learning to um, be confident in the truth of what is, to understand your own nature, and to, of course, put forth your best, give your passion, give lovingly and freely, but to understand that you can't know if someone's going to be disappointed or supportive. You just have to be, and then they have to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to recording artists, musicians, who have these managers who constantly push them and say that you've got you have these all these dates lined up that you have to
Mm.
make these appearances, or do you have to do these concerts, whatever. And when they're being pushed to do this on expectation that they're in the music entertainment industry, the sports industry, that there's a certain expectation that you have to fulfill. And I think that's another big part of the problem too. Uh, and because I see it. um, and I work with a lot of independent musicians who are not mainstream, and one in particular is a good friend of mine, and she basically let her health go, and to the point where she actually wound up in the hospital while she's out on the road, nonetheless. But it taught her a valuable lesson that you can't do that. And uh, and then a couple years later, uh, she winds up taking a tumble and fracturing her arm at a outdoor festival, nonetheless, because she was performing. She just got done performing, took the tumble, broke her arm, and which laid her up for another few months. But she forced herself to start playing again, and she's back at it again. It's like, uh it's like I've tried telling her she needs to just kind of take it easy. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple of things that you highlighted that make it really challenging. One, I'll just speak to like the pressure. Obviously, when we have a job where other people are relying on us, or we have bosses, and people are putting expectations or pressure, um, there's some things we can do and some things we can't. So I like to focus on the things that we can. So, a lot of what I do is help people with stress management. So again, like some of that stuff I was talking about in the Van Companion and other techniques, which allow you to understand the truth of your situation, check and see like what's your feelings, what are other people's feelings. You still may have obligations, right? We have obligations in our lives, ones that we have chosen, ones that have been given to us, ones that we just feel we must complete. But some of the feelings, the descriptions, the pressure, the emotional components that other people may add to what those actual physical obligations are can create different feelings inside us. And they can really, people can feel really badly. And it might not be as internal, it might be external. So when we work on presence and we work on sorting and sifting through the feelings that we have, maybe I have some techniques for where we also may store these things in our bodies and can learn. We can learn how to let go of certain pieces of it. So, yes, we may still have to go forth and do our jobs, the jobs that we really want, right? For most musicians, like
right.
this is the dream come true, right? We're living the dream here. But we may be able to remove some of the pressure that we feel or some of those negative aspects of emotions that might get in the way of really performing our best. And so, um, I focus on that. I think industry wide, like there are obviously changes that could be made.
Right.
I won't speak as much to those because I really sit on this side of the industry, working with the individuals and with bands as a group. And as far as um, utilizing your body for your job, this becomes very challenging to navigate. Like, when is it time to go back? When is it time to push? When is it time to rest? And this is why having guidance is so important. So, I don't know what sort of guidance your friend had. Sometimes people don't have access to medical insurance and medical care the same way other folks do, especially in the artist and music world. And so, having guidance for injury recovery is so important. Having a coach or a person that really can help you figure out, okay, yes, it is time to play, but you might need some discipline. Like maybe you should only play for 10 minutes at a time or 30 minutes at a time. Or, yes, you have that obligation to fill those shows. You're going to do it hurt. But here's what you can do outside of that actual playing that is also your job to help your body recover, to get proper nutrition, to increase the mobility and movement of your body without pain so that you don't create other compensatory issues, and how to continue to keep your stress level low, which I think is just such an important component to all of this.
That's true. Okay, let's kind of talk about. I'm going to share the website here with everybody real quick. Uh,
Awesome.
Now, when it comes to the musician side of things, because I mean, granted, I know that you work with musicians and uh, athletes and a lot of different people. Uh, so basically, uh, when a performer is searching out for someone like you to work with to help them be better at what they're doing, or to, I mean, just to, uh, so that they can be the best that they can be for themselves and for everybody else. Um, how do they first approach?
Yeah, I think it depends a little bit on where you're at. So you have right now you're kind of hanging out on that performance coaching aspect.
Yep.
So for people who are ready to dive in and really take an assessment of what's going on with everything, maybe they're having a physical issue, a mental issue, maybe they're having all sorts of things going on the road or through their performance, and they're ready to take that sort of full picture look. I always recommend going that performance coaching route. I offer a free one on one call where people can fill out a little bit of information about them, and I'll hop on and we'll get you started. And inside that call, we'll always have a few action steps for you to go right forth and start improving, whether it's your sensations or your approach or things that will help you, obviously, with reducing stress, with increasing your mobility, and with reducing pain. You scroll down to this at the show and on the road. So I work with individuals and bands at venues and at festivals. Um, the next one that I have coming up, which is as we're recording live, will be the International Bluegrass Music Association Conference and World Bluegrass Festival, which is in Raleigh. And we are the health and wellness sponsor there. We have brought back the health track to the conference, and we'll be offering 2 long workshops and 8 mini workshops, as well as individual postural assessments so people can bring their instruments. We'll take a look at how you're playing and see if there are a few things that you can do to help optimize your ability to perform. And we'll also be at the Annapolis Bay Grass Festival, which is in Annapolis, Maryland. There we often we'll be offering massage therapy and artist-specific workshops, as well as yoga for the whole festival. So we do health and wellness for both the artists and staff, as well as the festivals there. And if you scroll back up to the top here,
Uh-huh.
um, we have an online membership, and I think this is like a great place for everyone. People who do the performance coaching work with me are automatically members, but people can just join the membership. And this is a primarily on-demand membership. We have different categories of movement and mindset techniques that you can use to reduce anxiety, to increase your mobility, to strength train. I said their van companion is part of this. We have something called green room sessions. So you can work one-on-one with me through the on-demand videos. We also have other members who are featured in the videos. So you can be hanging out with another band, you might know them, or another individual who has had a similar issue as you. Everything is like keyword searchable and optimized for your phone, so you can access all of this from your back pocket as well as a desktop computer. And if you scroll to the bottom of this page, I also run a free musicians health community on Facebook. So if you're part of that social media, you can hang out with me there. We go live, sometimes we go live daily, sometimes I always go live weekly and share like top tips based on member requests. So if you're in the group and you've got something going on, it's a place for you to share. It's a place to connect and communicate with other musicians and other industry professionals. And you don't see this here, but I also do have a YouTube channel. So if folks are looking to just get started and get a taste for how I work and how I explain things, they can check out that as well.
Excellent. Yeah, I want to just wanted to go through that and share that with everybody, because that is an integral part of everything that you do. So now, when it comes to the festival that you're attending, I mean, how far do you travel?
Yeah, well, I actually currently live overseas in Jerusalem, Israel. So every time I go back to America, I call it the double pond skip. We go over the Mediterranean and the Atlantic. I
Hmm.
have primarily worked festivals on the East Coast, so I've had a couple of opportunities to teach elsewhere. I'm open to traveling in Europe for the spring of 2024 and the Middle East, should that be available. And I'm here in Israel. So we just worked a little Grateful Dead festival here in Jerusalem, and we have another little Woodstock festival coming up. So
Hmm.
it's possible to work worldwide. And of course, with the internet and technology, happy to connect with musicians anywhere in the globe.
Okay, that's also good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, now we are going to take a very short time out here for station identification, and then we'll be in a short video, and then we're going to be right back more with Lisa Joy, and we're going to be learning more about what she's doing. So stay tuned, don't go nowhere, and we'll be right back right after this.
Hi, this is Christian D. Madison, author of Therapy for a Broken Heart and For, a collection of short romantic erotic stories. Reminding you to check out my website, www.cdmadbooks.com, and buy my books available now on Amazon. That's www.cdmadbooks.com.
All right. Now that last commercial you just got done listening to, I also met the author over on Alignable, and also on one of the other networking platforms that I'm also on as well. And believe it or not, this is kind of an interesting story on that one. The actual author is a woman writing as a man, writing as a woman. And if you're confused by that, I'll get into that more later on. But She is a fantastic person. Christian is a fantastic person. Anyway, let's get back to Lisa Joy here. And now I know that I'm glad to hear that you can also do your virtual services, seeing how you're over in Jerusalem right now. Uh, and I know that they also have a lot of, they've got a fairly large music scene over there as well. Um, so I can, yeah, I can see where your services would come into play over there too.
Yeah, it's been really great just exploring the music scene, and I was really embedded into the jam band scene and the bluegrass scene over in the United States, kind of sparking from the music of the Grateful Dead. And so it's great to just discover that Deadheads are everywhere, or as they say, we're here, and that music is really a uniting force for good and for love and for peace and for unity. And that is really why I decided to work with musicians. Obviously, I think a lot of the same work that I do could apply. And I know this just being in different communities of yoga teachers and other healing practitioners, right? Somebody works with women over 50 going through menopause, and someone works with underserved communities in urban environments. And I work with musicians, and someone works with, athletes who play tennis and golf, right? And it's like they can get really, really specific, or really, really general, and a lot of the same techniques of breathing and mobility work all apply. But, you know, I wanted to work with musicians specifically because music for me is so incredibly healing and it's innate. And my life has been greatly enhanced, and I have personally been healed time and time again in the space of live music and through even recorded music as well. And I played music growing up. I played the flute and guitar and sang, and I still love to do all those things. But when I started doing massage therapy, just like using my hands and my body for that work became the priority. And so for me, I feel that I can contribute to the community by giving my best knowledge and my passion and gifts for helping people heal and to be present, and that can foster more music happening, more musicians having happier, better lives, longer careers, and feeling well. And so then we all win, right? We're all part of this.
Mm.
And there's nothing like going to a foreign country and not knowing the language and not knowing anyone, and then realizing that you can go to a show and you can start to communicate with people and you can start to feel the vibrations of that live music and experience that healing power.
Nice. Now, I also have up the link for the Facebook group, and
Awesome.
this is a really good place that I would recommend for musicians, uh, for basically anyone in the entertainment industry, and also athletes, you name it. I mean, there's a there's a wide range of services that people can take advantage of, and to stay on top of not only their health but to be able to keep doing what they love.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this group is for musicians and for all those in the industry, but I do have programs that are available for other folks as well. We're just starting, if you are listening live, the posture improvement program begins next week. So I mentioned that presence is at the like sort of the foundation, not the sort of presence is at the foundation of what I teach. And I work through a series of self care techniques and approaches mentally and physically, and realigning the posture and working with the breath, as well as, of course, other ingredients of environment and food, are really how I take a full, well rounded approach. So, as we know, not only playing instruments, which creates asymmetry in the body and is mostly happening in the front of the body, but because of our digital world, because of our technology of phones and computers, and for those of us who are out on the road driving, these things all are negatively, we'll just go ahead and say it, are negatively impacting our bodies. They may be positively impacting other aspects of our lives, but they're negatively impacting our bodies and our posture, pulling us out of our neutral anatomy or ideal anatomy. And so, working on posture and these techniques, which I do also feature in my YouTube channel, I have a special program and protocol for this. So we're about to start that next week. So anyone who's tuning in live, you're welcome to check that out and join us. And for those of you who are listening this fall, listening now, yeah, no problem, Earl. Oh, I love live technology. We got to have real things. We've got our dogs and our pets and our people all around us. But I will run this program in the winter again. But working on your posture, working on building the strength to hold your own body up is really a key to optimal movement and to reducing pain. So a lot of times we think about just stretching or resting the body, but actually building strength is really key. And I talk about athletes and I talked about musicians a lot. I think it's natural and normal for athletes of all kinds to be building strength. Obviously, I don't think it used to be so common in, like, let's say baseball, but now even in baseball, right? People are training the whole body, but musicians don't always see themselves this way as athletes. I actually saw a post from Nikki Glaspie the other day about being an athlete who's a drummer for the Nth Power and has drummed with Beyonce, and noting that that you got to take care of yourself like an athlete. And it's so true. And I treat
Yeah.
all of my people of all ages, including musicians, especially as athletes. And strength training is part of that. And working on your posture can really help not only to reduce pain, but to create a clear pathway for the breath. And I always say, if you want to be good at living, no matter what that is, whatever your craft or task or passion is, if you want to be good at living, got to be good at breathing.
Yep.
So,
That's true.
optimizing the breath. Yeah, I'm sure you've had that experience as well. Optimizing your ability to breathe, having that clear pathway with your posture, being strong enough to breathe and strong enough to hold the structure around it, as well as having the mental ability to focus and be present, are all a component of being good at breathing and being good at life.
Excellent. Very good. All right. Well, I've got another one that in fact, I got an appointment coming up with another interview. So basically, just want to say thank you so much for coming and joining me. This has been informative and also educational. So I really appreciate you taking time out, especially with you being over in where you're at right now. What time is it over there anyway?
Well, we're 7 hours ahead of the East Coast, so I believe we are coming up upon 8 p.m. now.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that would be about right. Okay. All right. Well, basically, I just want to say thank you for coming, taking time out. Now, what's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
Well, we are pretty much everywhere, but you can certainly go to the website. Go to www.activepotential.com. We have a contact page there. It's easy to find me there. I'm also on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook / Your Active Potential, or you're welcome to just message me directly. I'm Lisa Joy Glassman. We're on Instagram at Active Potential. And we're also on YouTube at / Active Potential. So you can contact me however is best to you. I gotta admit, it all comes to my phone. So I'm happy to gather your messages and respond. And of course, if anyone is interested in learning more or feeling like they're ready to get started, no matter what they think that looks like, please go ahead and book a call with me. I'd love to meet you and chat with you and get to know you, get to know about what's going on with you, and see if we can get you into a state of action and taking care of yourself and leading towards a freer and happier moving life.
All right. Well, Lisa, this has been a pleasure, and again to talk with you more, and hopefully we'll run across each other again on Alignable. And I wish you all the best over there.
Thank you so much, Earl. Thanks for having me on the show, and I'll look forward to more as well.
Excellent. Been listening to another edition of the Midwest Plainsman, and appreciate everyone who shows support. I'm going to be posting up a lot more on not just Facebook, but also on Alignable to encourage others to come and share what they do, especially in the fields that I help to promote. So, yeah, I really encourage people to come and want to be a guest on my show. And you can contact me anytime on Facebook under Earl L. or excuse me, yes, Earl Silver Wolf Williams. Excuse me. It's under Earl Silver Wolf Williams on Facebook. You can also contact me directly through the business page for the Best Plainsman and also Night Wolf Event DJ. So you can contact me on those platforms. And then for those of you over on Alignable, message me anytime if we're connected up. If not, why not? Send me over a connection request. Have a great day, everyone. And we got more to come. Yeah, because I've got another interview I'm going to be doing today. In fact, I'm going to be talking with Tess Gelderloo coming up next. So stay tuned for that. Have a great day. We're going to be out of here. Pleasant journeys, everyone, and appreciate everyone tuning in. Have a great day.